We welcome to our studio a candidate for New York State Assembly, Daniel Norton. Good morning.
Good morning, Bob. Thanks for having me on the show.
Great to have you with us. Tell me why you decided to be one of potentially thousands of people who are seeking the Democratic nomination for the seat that's been held for more than 2 decades by Donna Lupardo.
Yeah, Bob, I was listening to your last segment before I came in the studio here, and we find ourselves at a critical moment for our community, for our state, for our country. I'm very proud to call the Southern Tier my home, but I'm worried about its future, and I am ready to fight not only to improve the present that we find ourselves, but to build a better future for the next generation. And let me explain what I mean when I say that. When I say improve the present, I mean tackling the affordability crisis head on by doing things like creating new housing opportunities, by expanding childcare to every part of the state, by making sure that our neighbors have access to the health care that they desperately need, and definitely by reining in runaway NICEAG costs. By building a better future, I mean going up to Albany, securing the funds that we desperately need to improve the infrastructure that we have in this community that's aging. When I drive to work every day, I'm dodging potholes. Where I live over in the town of Union, the water runs brown every couple of weeks. The water main has broken in my neighborhood 3 times in the last year alone. I know there's parts of town over in the town of Union where the water runs brown every day. And I'm stuck with Spectrum for broadband because that's the only provider I have in my neighborhood. And I know there's opportunities for competition. We just need to provide them ways to expand to all parts of the community. So that's why I want to run. I'm prepared to advance all of these issues. And these aren't just things that I'm talking about. These are conversations I've had as I've been introducing people or introducing myself to people here in the community.
Tell our listeners a bit about yourself, about growing up here in the Binghamton area.
Sure, be happy to, Bob. I am an Endwell native. I grew up in a working class household where we were taught if your neighbor needs some help, you go over there and help them out. Where if a job needs doing, you roll up your sleeves, you get it done. And if something is broken, you darn well better try to fix it before you go out and replace it. Right now, I'm a husband. I'm a father of 3. I really want my children to see this place as an area where they can find opportunity and put down roots and grow a family. My family has been here on both sides for generations. On my mother's side of the family, my great-grandparents actually immigrated here from Italy to go work at the factories that Endicott Johnson Shoe Company owned. If you look at my logo on my website, which is nortonforny.com, you will see a little bit of an homage to the square deal arches that Endicott Johnson put up. I did that as an homage to my family because those are words that mean something to us. On my dad's side of the family, at the same time that my great-grandparents were immigrating here from Italy, my great-grandfather was tending to a farm over on what is now known as Norton Avenue.
I was going to ask, was Norton Avenue related to the Norton family?
It is, yeah. So we are proud of that fact in my family. I tell everybody I meet about Norton Avenue. We actually still have the house that my great-grandfather built over on Norton Avenue in the family. And during the Depression, my great-grandfather subdivided the farm so that individuals could build houses. His son, my grandfather, served this community as a sheriff's deputy, as a member of the O.L. Davis Fire Company. And I learned recently in the National Guard, and what blows my mind, Bob, is he did all 3 of those things at the same time. He didn't do one and then the next one and then the next one. He did all 3 at the same time. That example, I think, is part of what inspired my dad when he was working as a letter carrier while I was growing up to run for school board and become involved in the Maine Endwell Central School District as a school board member. That was a fun experience for him, for my family. I actually helped him go knock on doors and hang out the doorknob flyers when he was running. And he ended up staying on the board for 20 years, long after I was done at school over there, long after my sisters were done at school over there. My mom was a social worker who worked with kids. Sometimes she took me into, she was big on play therapy at the time. So sometimes I got to meet some of the kids that she was working with and play with them and interact with them, which was a great experience for me growing up. I'm a proud graduate of Maine Endwell High School, proud graduate of the University of Albany. I'm very proud to say I went to Cornell. I've held a number of odd jobs in my life. I was a paper carrier growing up. I worked at Arby's in the Oakdale Mall. I worked at Video King back when you could still rent movies. And now I am a father of 3, a husband, and just excited to be here talking about why I'm running for election.
And you're a partner in a well-known Broome County law firm.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm also proud of the fact that I work over at Hinman, Howard, and Cattell. You know, one of the best parts about that job is the fact that I get to meet with people every day and help them find creative solutions to what for them is the biggest problem that they're facing in their life at that moment in time. My clients are usually individuals that I stick with and represent, not just for a week or a month, sometimes for years. I've had cases that go on for 4 or 5 years, and it requires a level of commitment to a cause. It requires dedication to a shared purpose, and it requires an ability to think flexibly to help your client obtain the best possible outcome in a situation where there is someone who also has a stake in the outcome, who adamantly disagrees with what you're trying to accomplish. And I think, Bob, that this background is one of the things that qualifies me to serve as an assemblyman, because one of the jobs that an assemblyman is going to have to do is meet with people in the community, sometimes people who disagree with them, hear their concerns, and then find a way to work together to improve the situation that people find so concerning.
Why did you decide to get involved in politics?
Great question, Bob, and that's one that a lot of folks have asked me. And the best answer I can give to that is that I'm running for New York State Assembly because I believe in the people here in this community, and I want to see us remain a place that people are proud to call home. I want the next generation to see this as a place of opportunity. And I know right now that there are folks out there who are not feeling that way. There are people living literally out of sleeping bags in the streets. There are guys that I went to high school with who are working good jobs, but who can't afford to own their own homes. There are people who are being just squeezed by their runaway NYSEG bills. Something needs to be done there. I know that working families, my own family, has struggled with childcare and the cost associated with it. When my son Sam was born, we were still paying the hospital bill associated with my daughter Molly being born. And we had to structure the payments on my son Sam's hospital bill for when he was born too. And right at about the same time, my daughter Molly was going to preschool, and we were trying to find a way to pay my student loans, pay for the hospital bills for my 4 and brand newborn child, 4-year-old daughter, brand newborn son, and also pay for preschool. So when I talk about issues like affordability, it's not from the perspective of someone who's just trying to run for the next thing. It's as someone who cares about these issues. These are personal to me, and I want to make sure that working families here in this community aren't struggling, and that they are able to find the breathing room that they need, not only to take care of themselves, but their kids, and build a better future here.
So what do you think about the way things are shaping up since Donna Lupardo announced her decision not to seek another term?
Yeah, what I'll say is this. I am very proud of Donna Lepardo. For 21 years, she has served this area admirably. I think it's important that we carry on her legacy and build upon the successes, that she has had as our assembly representative. I think it's great that we have a primary. I think primaries are good for democracy. One thing I can tell you is that while the other candidates in the race have been running for election after election after election, I've been trying to help my wife run what is a very busy household. We have 3 kids. Just to give you an example, tonight I'm picking my daughter up at her operetta practice at 5 so that I can get her to a basketball game that's going to start right around 5:15, 5:30. While at the same time, my wife is taking my son Sam over to his soccer practice. And I don't even know what my stepdaughter Ava is going to be doing tonight, but I'm sure she's up to something too that's going to add to the mix.
How old are the children?
Oh, great question. So Ava is 20. Molly is 11. Sam is 8 years old. It blows my mind that Molly's going to be going into middle school next year. But I think that this experience that I've had as a parent, especially, gives me a fresh perspective and a unique insight into some of the struggles that people in this community are living through day to day. And it gives me the opportunity to advance causes that I know are both personal to me and shared within the community.
How has Endwell and generally Western Broome County changed since you were a kid?
We were talking about this earlier, Bob. When I was a kid growing up, Endwell was a place where there were tree-lined streets. In fact, as I recall, all of the parts of Endwell and Endicott where I used to ride my bike around had tree-lined streets. Folks were proud to call that part of town their home. And things have changed a lot, in some ways for the better, in some ways for the worse. I think a lot of that is due to the changes that we've seen when large employers have left the area and left local taxpayers holding the bag to kind of keep the things that were near and dear to them alive and keep them afloat. And I think it's important that we invest in creating opportunities for those lower income and middle income families who had to pick up so much of the slack that was left for them when larger employers left the area.
It is sometimes discouraging to see what's happened to some parts of Endwell or some parts of Endicott or our other communities around the Triple Cities, comparing it to, say, just 2 or 3 decades ago when IBM was still a big factor. Endicott Johnson, up to a point, was still employing people. Link and so many other companies were providing really good, stable employment with great benefits for thousands of people in Broome County.
Yeah, I agree with you, Bob. And it's funny, where I grew up, we could hear the Endicott Forge still operating. My sisters and I, and this is going to sound probably cheesy, but my sisters and I, when we could hear that forge slamming down, it had that unique noise. We used to pretend that was like a monster coming for us in the neighborhood. And we used it as like a kickoff to a hide and seek game that we used to like to play in the neighborhood. And, it's sad to see that these larger employers are gone, but it's also nice to see, too, that other opportunities are moving in. We've had just over in Endicott, right along the railroad tracks there, we've had a car dealership go in. It's a big, beautiful, brand new place. I drive by there and sometimes it calls to me to go in and just check out what they have in inventory. So there are still people here who care and who want to build a better Broome County. And I am very interested in meeting with those people, hearing about ways that we can work together and hearing about ways that we can maybe support the folks here in this community who are proud to call it home.
Daniel Norton, a Democratic candidate for the New York State Assembly seat that's been held for over 2 decades by Donna Lepardo, also an Endwell resident. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Thanks for the opportunity to come on and talk about how I want to improve the present and build a better future.
It's 10:26. It's Tuesday Morning Live with Bob Joseph.